We're here. Can you hear me now?
Very thank you.
Can you hear us now?
That's perfect.
Okay. All right, Marty, we're going to start the annual meeting.
Speak louder. Okay.
Okay. We'll start the annual meeting. Marty, do you want to call the meeting to order?
It's 5:05 p.m. on Thursday, June 25th, and I call the meeting over.
Okay. Marty, if you don't mind, I'll go over the agenda items for you and the board.
Sure.
This is a unit owner meeting for the purpose of the annual meeting of the unit owner members of the Shelborne Ocean Beach Hotel Condominium. My name is Samuel Prasad. I'm general counsel for the association. Sitting next to me is Mr. Joseph Rosenberg, who is presently a member of the board of directors. Ben Rosansky, who is a member of the board of directors. On the speakerphone is Martin Wasserman, who is the president of the board of directors. And at the very end of the table is Tom Hagberg, the association's property manager. Thank you all for being here today. The purpose of this meeting is to conduct the affairs of the association and the election of the officers and the directors for the 2015-2016 year. So the meeting's been called to order by Martin Wasserman, the president. Marty, I will now go down and certify a quorum and call, because we do have a quorum. We have 269 unit owners in attendance in person or by proxy by virtue of the sign-in sheets, and we have 2 proxies that were mailed in. And you are the proxy holders pursuant to those 2 proxies, Marty. So we have 269, so we have a quorum sufficient to proceed with the meeting. Proof of notice of meeting, Tom Hagberg, the association's property manager, has signed the affidavit of mailing and posting that the meeting was noticed pursuant to the association's bylaws. The next item is the reading and disposal of the unapproved minutes. Have everybody, last year we had no meeting because we had a meeting, but we didn't have any.
Yeah, if you could talk the speaker, it'd be easier for me.
Okay. Sit down. Hold on, Marty.
I'm here.
Thank you.
I think we're going to read it more.
No, we're not talking.
We're not talking. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, Marty, what I've handed out is the minutes from last year's meetings, which basically just tallies the votes for the reserves and the IRS election that was done last year, which we're going to do this year. Does anyone have any questions? Anybody have any questions regarding the minutes? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Does that come from who? The board or the gentleman?
In general.
I'll move.
Wait, excuse me, I have a question.
You okay?
Because apparently there are 3 gentlemen up front.
There's 4.
Okay, he's included, right?
Marty Wasserman?
On the board?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you explain what this means about the, starting in July 1st, we're going to have Keith Menon back on the board?
This is from last year.
Okay,
This is last year's minutes.
Okay.
This is last year's minutes. We're reading it.
okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you.
Motion by Abraham Galvin.
To accept the minutes for last year.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Okay. Minutes are accepted. Okay, so the elections for this year will not be necessary because only 3 candidates have submitted their names, and there were only 3 positions on the board, so therefore there's no necessity for actually holding an election. We do just ask that the board, the secretary of the association, which is Mr. Rosenberg, cast a vote. Do I hear a motion to cast a vote to appoint or elect Joseph Rosenberg, Martin Wasserman, and Ben Rosansky to the association's board of directors?
I so move.
Actually, the secretary will cast that one. Mr. Rosenberg, motion. now. Any oppositions to that motion? Motion passes unanimously. So we have 3 board members. The next item on the agenda is the voting on the statutory reserves. Every year, the association has the option to fund or not fund the statutory reserves, which are painting, electrical repairs, plumbing, roof repairs. This association has historically always funded reserves. So now we will ask for a vote on whether to waive the reserves or whether to fund the reserves or waive it. So for SPA, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Galvin, how do you vote?
The fund.
Okay. For SWGSB,
The fund.
okay, so. Mr. Rosenberg?
So moved.
Mr. Rosansky?
Fund.
Mr. Wasserman?
Yes.
You vote to fund? Do you vote to fund the reserves?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. And you hold 2 votes for units 1210. And for this one, unit 1210 voted against. So I'm asking you to cast a vote for against for unit 1210. Okay, I will note that you're casting a vote against for unit 1210. Correct, Marty?
Yes.
Okay. You also have the proxy for unit T5. And on this item, the proxy says to vote for. So I ask that you vote for funding the reserves for unit T5.
Okay.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson,
Yes, sir.
for or against funding
For.
the reserves?
4, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, we have a substantial, I haven't added up, but 1 against, so therefore we will fund the reserves for the upcoming year. I'll put the total when we're done with this meeting. The next item on the agenda is the Internal Revenue Service election for the treatment of non-regular income. Basically, this allows the associations to defray or defer paying taxes on income that are not assessments related or HO, such as interest or rents that we would collect other than assessments. So we'll start this process again. SPA, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. SWGSB,
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg? Mr. Rosansky?
Yes.
Mr. Wasserman?
Yes.
Okay, now you're going to vote for 1210 as a proxy holder, and 1210 asks that you vote for.
Okay.
Okay, vote for. T5 also gave you the proxy, and they're asking you to vote for that election also.
Okay.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson?
I'm not familiar enough with it to be able to
You don't
provide.
wanna
No.
Abstain. Got you. Okay, and I do want to clarify that we do have Mrs. Wadler here with us. Thank you very much. She has 4 units, but evidently her husband is the authorized signature for those units, so she did not vote, but thank you for being here today. I have nothing else on the agenda other than to hear a motion to adjourn. But Mr. Rosenberg, I have, what time do you have? Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Hey, Marty? Marty? We're gonna have to have a meeting to appoint the officers pretty soon. So I'll circulate an email later on today to get a date. We have to post it. I can get it to Tom tomorrow, yeah. Okay, we're done, thank you. Tom will make a copy of all of these.
That's my magazine. Come on.
Meeting's adjourned.
Take it up.
Meeting's adjourned, thank you.
Thank you.